Hello dear students, welcome back again to Chinmoy's YouTube channel. So till now we have completed all parts of circulatory system. So this is the last part of circulatory system and we need to know about the lymphatic system in brief. So till now I think you have already gone through all my lessons which I have posted in circulatory system. So let us start with today's episode of lymphatic system. Now, what are the learning objectives of this lesson? So, we are going to learn about the lymphatic system in brief in this lesson. We are going to learn about the lymph, the lymphocytes, the lymph vessels and all. And we are going to learn about the functions of the lymph. So, your lymphatic system is in brief as per your ICSE curriculum, and in 8th standard, whenever you move to higher classes, it is in details. So please do subscribe to my channel if you want to know more regarding not only this system but also the upcoming lessons which are there as per your ICSE curriculum. So please subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends so that all can learn from my lessons, and which is absolutely free of cost. And if you are having any queries, any doubts, please do subscribe to my channel and please write in my comment box whatever queries you are having, whatever doubts you are having, so that I can get back to you in the next lesson. Okay, so let us start with today's episode. Now in lymphatic system, first we need to know what is this lymph doing. So it is transporting the lymph throughout the body. So what is lymph? We should know that first, right? So what is the lymphatic system doing? It is transporting the lymph throughout the body. Now what is lymph? Now lymph is a fluid that contains infection fighting white blood cells. So lymph is a fluid which is fighting infections, and it is having the white blood cells which is fighting all the infections which are happening in our body. Now what is the color of the lymph? Now lymph is a yellowish color fluid. It is a yellowish color fluid, yellowish fluid in nature. Okay, and it is containing the WBCs or the white blood cells. So it is containing the WBCs or white blood cells, and the other term of this white blood cells is lymphocytes. Is it clear? It is lymphocytes. It is termed as lymphocytes, and which is fighting infection as well as diseases. So it is called lymphocytes, it is white blood cells, and it is present in the lymph, and it is fighting infections and diseases. Now when the blood reaches the capillaries, what is happening? The capillaries, some of the water and the dissolved solutes are filtered, and they are filtered out from the plasma into the tissue spaces to form a tissue fluid called the lymph. So some of the dissolved solutes, they are filtered out from the plasma into the tissue spaces to form a tissue fluid called the lymph. And some of these lymph enters into the tiny channels called the lymph vessels. Now some of these lymphs, they are entering into the tiny channels, they are called lymph vessels. Now lymph has all elements of the blood except RBCs and blood platelets. So lymph is not having RBCs, lymph is not having blood platelets. It is having all the other elements of the blood except the RBCs and the blood platelets. Now some of these lymphs, they are entering the tiny channels. We have called that they are called the lymph vessels. Now what is lymph? We have already told in the previous slide also, just we will brush it up, just a quick revision. So therefore it is a slight yellowish color fluid, and it contains a special type of white blood cells called the lymphocytes, which helps in fighting the infections. The lymphatic system consists of the lymph vessels and the lymph nodes. So we told that lymph is carried to several small vessels. They are called the lymph vessels, and they are forming lymph nodes also. The lymph vessels, they resemble veins due to their thin walls and presence of valves. The lymph vessels, they resemble their veins due to their thin walls and presence of valves. The lymph nodes, they are small globular masses. So lymph nodes, they are how nodes we know that they are small globular masses of lymphatic tissue. Is it clear? So they are small globular masses of lymphatic tissue, and the lymph vessels resemble veins due to their thin walls and presence of valves. So now we should move on to the functions of the lymph. So we know that they are fighting infections, they are fighting diseases. They are called lymphocytes, and they are having lymph nodes and lymph vessels. And lymph vessels, they are resembling veins due to their thin walls. So lymph vessels, they are somewhat, we can say that they are resembling the veins, and the presence of, as the veins are having valves at the end of each veins, we are having valves due to the to prevent the backflow of blood. Like that only lymphatic vessels are also having valves. Lymph nodes, they are small globular masses and of lymphatic tissue itself. So this is clear about lymph and lymphatic system. So what are the functions of lymph now? Now the first function of lymph, now this is the whole lymphatic system. You can see these are cervical lymph nodes, this is thymus, this is tonsil, all these are axillary lymph node, this is spleen, this is thoracic duct, this is inguinal lymph node, this is cisterna chyli, and this is right lymphatic duct. So this is the full lymphatic system. Now we will stress on to the functions. Now first important function of lymph is the transportation. So what does lymph transport? So lymph helps in transporting the nutrients as well as hormones to the body cells. Now as the blood is doing, lymph is also doing the same thing, as it is transporting the nutrients and it is transporting the blood to different body cells. Now it also helps in removing the waste material. So what is it doing? It is also removing the waste materials. It is also removing the waste materials from, we can say that from the different parts of the body tissues or different parts of the and they are being poured into the veins. So it is removing the body wastes, rather it is removing the body waste materials from different parts of the body, and it is being deposited in the veins. And lymph nodes, they produce lymphocytes. We know that, and lymphocytes and antibodies from the lymph node to the body, they are carrying the we can say that the lymphocytes and the antibodies are being carried by the lymphocytes to the blood. So from the lymph nodes, the lymphocytes and the antibodies are carried to the blood. So this helps in the transportation of the lymphocytes and the antibodies. So the lymphocytes and the antibodies are being carried, from the lymph node to the bulbs. Okay, so from lymph node to the blood. So the lymph also absorbs and transports fats like fatty acids and glycerols. So fatty acids and glycerols are also being absorbed from the small intestine to the blood. So same thing, it is helping in the absorption and the transportation of the antibodies, the lymphocytes, the nutrients, the fatty acids, the glycerols from different parts of the body to the blood. Now the second function, what is it? Defense. We have told that as lymph is having the antibodies and the lymphocytes, it is acting to prevent against the microorganisms and the foreign particles in the lymph nodes. Now lymph is picking up the bacteria entering the body and bringing them to the lymph nodes. So lymph, this fluid is picking up the bacteria from the lymph nodes and it is destroying them. It is bringing them to the lymph nodes, and lymph nodes are also localizing the infection and preventing it from spreading to other tissues. Now tonsil is a lymph node or lymph gland, whatever you are telling. So what is tonsil doing? Tonsil is actually it is preventing the infection to be spread to the different parts of the body. It is localizing the infection, and that is why at certain level of time we get infected in our tonsil, and the tonsil is swelling, it is becoming enlarged, it gives us fever, it is like painful tonsils we are having. Why? The tonsil is preventing it to spread it to different parts of the body. It is localizing the infection and it is being picked up by the lymph and the infection is being deposited to the lymph node, that is the tonsil. So this is what is happening in case of tonsil infection, and your full body is not being infected by this type of viral infection. Only the tonsil is infected and it is preventing the whole body from getting this infection. And so that is why tonsil is a very important gland in our body. So if this gland is removed or operated, so you can see that many people are operating this tonsil gland. It is not at all good, because tonsil is being infected every time due to the infection whatever is present nearby your side, and it is localizing the infection and preventing it to spread otherwise. So this is how this lymphatic system or lymph is helping you to defend against the different viral or bacterial infections. Now drainage. Now how it is acting in drainage purpose? The lymph is draining the excess tissue fluid from the intercellular spaces back into the blood. Now tissue fluid is a fluid that is surrounding the cells now in most of the tissues and arriving through the blood capillaries. So the lymph drains the excess fluid. What is it doing? It is draining the excess fluid. It is draining the excess fluid, and this excess fluid, after being drained, it is from the intercellular spaces, it is going back to the blood. and then this tissue fluid is surrounding most of the tissue spaces and arriving through the blood to the capillaries. So this is what is happening in the action of drainage system. So this was a brief idea about your lymphatic system, functions of the lymph, and what are the components of the lymphatic system and all. So as per your curriculum, this was there, not more than that. So please subscribe to my channel and please go through these videos of circulatory system so that you can get to know what is there in your curriculum. And if you are having any doubt, please get back to me write in the comment box. So the next lesson which is coming is the nervous system in humans. So stay tuned, stay updated with all my videos, and do subscribe to my channel. Thank you.